You either is or you ain't. You do or you don't. You can or you can't. Or you will or you won't. Either way, baby, a good man, well, he's hard to find. Welcome to the One More for the Good Guys podcast, where good guys gather to shed light on the good life, the people, and the good things that make it that way. I'm Mike McGill with my co-host, Jamie Akins. Now, raise your glass, lend us your ear, and let's have one more for the good guys. Now, sorry, don't cut it when it's every... Hey, everybody, McGill Billy here.
And I am Jamie.
Welcome to One More for the Good Guys podcast. Welcome to our YouTube channel. If you've been here before, thanks for coming back. If it's your first time, thanks for visiting with us. Take your shoes off, get you a cigar, a cold libation, if you will. Do whatever you want to. You're at home. We're not at your place. You're at our place. So we're here in the honky tonk. We do this podcast every Monday, and we always start out by saying thank you to everyone for tuning in and coming back and being first timers, as well as, promote the social media pages that we have where you can find content as well, such as Instagram, Twitter, or X, TikTok, YouTube, Facebook, and Instagram. Did I get all of them?
Yeah, you did.
Yeah.
All the ones we're on.
I always try to remember them, and Jamie just goes, all of them.
All of them.
He's that kind of guy.
Just type in. Both of our entities were the only one in the world.
Yes.
So.
And if you're a cigar smoker and you like good cigar content, then you came to the right place. Sometimes we have special guests. I booked a special guest today, by the way, so let you know all about it. Sometime in July, we'll have our good friend Benny Smith coming in.
Oh, nice.
Who is now the, I'm not sure what his exact title at WDVX. Our local radio station here in Knoxville that you can also listen to online at WDVX.com. But going back to that, we oftentimes have guests, but we have a lot of cigar and music related content and different things like that. And today was no different. You can find, if you are, I had it going really good there. But if you are a cigar smoker, you can also visit goodguyscigars.com. You know the rest. And you can see all about our two separate entities there. Today, first and foremost, we are smoking the Villiger 1888 Nicaraguan from Villiger Cigars. And we're going to tell you a little bit about Villiger Cigars. We kind of got turned on to Villiger Cigars about 3 or 4 years ago. And I think it was back in, I want to say it was 2023.
That's what I was thinking.
Yeah. And I ordered a box and ordered it a box. I didn't try one. I was just like, they were at such a good price. And at the time I was still a consumer as far as I didn't have a business. Cigar business.
Yeah,
so
buying retail.
Yeah, I was buying retail, but they were at such a good price retail. I just like, these can't be bad. I mean, and if they are, they're giveaways, they're a dog walker, they're I can ride the mower and, all that stuff. So I tried them, and that was the Queller Cream by Villiger. And it actually, we carry it full time now. We sell them all the time.
We're out of them a lot because everybody wants them.
There's a lot of times you can only get, instead of being able to get all the sizes, you can only get one. They're great. And 3 years after the fact, Cigar Aficionado finally did a rating on them and, of course, ranked it like a 90. I think it was a 91 or a 93. But at any rate, that's not what we're smoking today. Today, I kind of did the same thing. Here, I don't know, a couple months ago, I guess it was now, I got online and seen where they offered the 1888 Nicaraguan. And, of course, you guys know we're big fans of the Nicaraguan tobacco, and I thought,
and trying new things.
And trying new things. I mean, we gotta smoke all the bad ones so y'all don't have to, right?
Oh darn, there's another cigar we have to smoke.
Whoops.
Gosh. Lots of arm twisting around.
What
here.
will I ever do? I had to smoke another one. But so I ordered a box of these. These are in Toro. They are a 6x50. They are an Ecuadorian Sumatra wrapper, Nicaraguan binder, and Nicaraguan and Pennsylvania broadleaf fillers.
That's interesting. Y'all over the world.
Yeah. All over the place, Johnny. We have handed several of these cigars out at different events, to some of our OG guys and gals that smoke who've been with us for a while. And we like to do that because we want, we value their opinion. I mean, if they don't like it, or we can't sell it to them. But
basically,
we got to sell it.
We have a cigar club where we sell cigars. Basically,
yeah,
it's like our group. It's a big family of people we like, and we sell cigars to them. So anyway, sorry,
but we do that. We do that for sure. But we also at events, or if I see somebody out and I've got something new, I want them to try it.
Absolutely.
Because I want their feed. I know what I think about it already. I know what Jamie thinks about it already because more than likely we've smoked it. And if it makes it to that point of getting it to the masses, of seeing what the public approval is, that's just a way that we can vet it and, see if we want to start carrying it. But this cigar, along the way, I was just like, we're going to try it. I smoked the first one fresh out of the box. I didn't rest it. I didn't wait. I didn't acclimate it. I opened it up, took one out, and smoked it right away. And I was very, very pleased with it. Lots of caramel sweetness. It's one of those cigars that it's just going to make you salivate while you're smoking it. It just wakes up all the sensories, in my opinion.
Got some dark fruit in it too.
Yeah.
Like I got a little bit of a hay in the back too.
Some hay, some cocoa.
Yeah.
Like cocoa powder, not, hot cocoa or something like that, but like cocoa powder, lots of caramel sweetness to it. And hey, here's the best deal. They are, as well as just like the Queller creams, they're baller on a budget cigars. I mean, they are, why would you stuff your humidor with anything else? They're very budget friendly. These are $10 Toros in 2025,
which is unheard of.
And if you buy them by the box, they're going to be obviously 15 to 20% cheaper than that, right?
Yeah. And one thing that we are coming up with a cigar review system that we think is a combination of a lot of the ones that we like and kind of is more directed toward immediate information. Oh, there's that, and boom. Because, is it good? That's what I want to know.
Yeah.
Is it good? What's it cost?
For sure.
So, and one thing I love about this Villiger brand and the cream you were talking about is a perfect example. But I tell you what, and I'll put up a better photo of this so everybody can see it. But man, their packaging,
they're beautiful. Their
bands, these things look expensive.
Yeah.
Their construction, man, I'm telling you what. And of course, now here's the thing that I figured out through you telling me and just seeing a lot of the wholesale stuff. Villiger is a huge, huge brand. They sell mostly mini, like cigarillos, cigarette size stuff, and they are a major player, especially in Europe, for that kind of stuff. So I don't know if this is the case where you've got big money out of that putting behind to get these on the market and then go up on the price. Because listen, these are very affordable. But if they were, if you said, if we had this and I said, hey man, these are $13, I'd pay $13 for them.
Yeah.
If I didn't know I could get them for 10, you know what I'm saying?
Absolutely.
This thing hits way above its weight class. So
very much so.
And it's just a very impressive thing for the price range. I just blown away with it.
And the other thing is too, you know, as far as the other brand that we carry in this, the creams, you know, the pricing and stuff has stayed right there. You know, $10 MSRP and packaging in boxes of 20. This is, in a good guy's opinion, as well as others. This is a value cigar. It's got a great value. It's in a very traditional size, the 6x50.
Great size.
Toro. I love the traditional
Me
sizes.
too. I am learning to love the 50 over like a 52 or 4.
You know, Villiger doesn't outwardly market as a value cigar, but you know, in our world, in my world, that's what I would say about it, wouldn't you?
I would,
for sure.
Yeah, extreme value cigar because it is so.
They're very luxurious.
They are, man. You could, you know, some people care about aesthetics. Okay, and there's nothing wrong with that. No. That's why they make them pretty and put bands on them. If you care about aesthetics, this is another great brand for you because man, they look impressive. Yeah, you know, I feel a little uppity. So anyway,
I was just reading an article there in Half Wheel. Of course, you guys know Half Wheel. They were smoking the Gordo, which is a 6x60 flavor. Not my, or 6x58, excuse me.
Oh.
No, shit. That's a Perfecto. So they make these in Coronita, which is a 5 3/4 by 43. Also a really good size I like.
But it's good too. That's our wheelhouse.
Yeah.
Smaller.
Robusto 5x50 traditional sizing, 6x50 in Toro, 7x47 in the Churchill.
Wow.
So an actual Churchill size.
Is that the same in the cream too?
No, it's a bigger.
Yeah.
I think it's like a 50 something.
Because that's what we get them in normally is the Churchill.
They make the Gordo 6x60 and they also make a Perfecto, which is 6x58.
Wow.
Half Wheel gave it a 90 on the Gordo. And as you know, I would say the Stars review system from Cigar Authority and Half Wheel are probably the two best that they say they're blind tasting. You know what I mean? Of giving a non-biased review and just reporting what they're smoking.
Right.
You know.
Which is the only good way to do it.
I mean, we've said it.
You need a baseline to go by.
We've said it millions of times. If you're going to do it, that's the way to do it.
Yeah, absolutely.
But a little bit about Villiger as a brand. You know, the 1888 is important on this cigar because the first foundations of the Villiger company were laid in 1888. The businessman Gene Villiger, at the time was 28 years old, founded a cigar factory named Villiger in his own home. And I'm not going to try. Pfeffikon?
Which is where?
I would say it's
I'd like to
Switzerland, Finland.
I'd like to have a comma country
Denmark.
Right there. Yeah.
You could probably find
somewhere up there.
I would say it's Finland, Scandinavia, Denmark.
Hey Siri, where is Pfeffikon?
You need the spelling. Pfeffikon. Above all, he had the support of his
Switzerland.
Okay, well, I said.
Yeah, you're right. Nailed it.
Hey, Let's back up there just for a
You
second.
were right. Nailed it.
Love that part.
Not deja
I
vu.
love that part. I mean, it keeps me
That'll
going.
be probably one of the sound things right there. You're right.
Yeah. Anywho, where was I at? Okay. He had the support of his wife, Louise Villiger, who led the company after his early death in 1902. With a strong woman at the helm in 1907, Louise Villiger had sensational success. She launched the Villiger Kiel brand to market, the first cigar with the famous quill mouthpiece. 1910, their growth went through to expansion in Germany. In 1918, the Villiger brothers assumed management of the company. That was Hans and Max Villiger.
Probably wasn't the best time to get into Germany right then, but
Well, no, I guess 1918 they were
active.
They were real assholes then too, weren't they? Yeah. Together, they quickly stimulated the growth of the company. They built subsidiary plants in Munich, as well as many branches in rural areas. The very successful Rio 6 products, known above all in the Wehrmacht and Villiger export, as well as others, can be traced back to the brothers in 1918. Speaking of, war takes a toll. 1945, the Second World War then took its toll on the company, and for a time, development came to a standstill. In 1943, an American bombing raid destroyed both the factories in Munich. Furthermore, the factory in Waldstadt, Tegan, had to close down for a year during the arrival of the French occupation in 1944 or 45. I say we should read that one too. In 1950, the company gets an addition to the family. The time for rebuilding factories in Munich began in 1950, and the company pursued its ambitious expansion goals. In addition, there was support in the company with Heinrich Villiger, the oldest son of Max Villiger, to become involved in the company. In 54, they carried on with the family. 66, one company, one family. That's just probably following Heinrich Villiger in 1966, a 25-year-old Casper Villiger joined the company. In 1967, Monica Villiger, too, became a part of the Villiger company as the export manager. The three siblings opened another factory in Berlin, and then took over all the companies and brought new products to the market. In the meantime, the company even sold the enormous popular Villiger bicycles.
Wow. What was that?
In 76, the company was the first cigar factory to ever sponsor a Formula One team. This decision was a golden one in the truest sense of the word. A short time later, the Shadow Racing team with driver Alan Jones won the Grand Prix in Zeltwig, Austria. The sponsored car with Tabatip and Villiger Kiel markings were shown and was mentioned repeatedly in the media. Oh, so, I mean, just to sum that part of it, these guys have been around since 1888 and been a pretty big deal in the European market.
They got a racing team.
Yeah, the first cigar company to ever do it.
So back to the big money situation.
Yeah.
How do you throw away millions of dollars? You start a racing team.
Yeah.
So.
Or start with more millions.
That's right.
Yeah.
How do you make 2 million? Start with 5.
Yeah, we could say that about the cigar business, couldn't we? How to make $1 million selling cigars, start with 2. In 1983, Tobacco City, Bund becomes Villiger's center of production. From 1983 onwards, production was continued only in the factory there, with gradual closing down of the previous plants in Berlin, Bund, Munich, and Heidenheim. Yeah. Easy. In 1989, a joint venture company for Cuban cigars. In 1989, Fifth Avenue Products Trading GmbH GmbH was founded as a German-Cuban joint venture for the exclusive distributor of Cuban cigars in Germany. Later also expanded to Austria and Poland in 2012. In 1995, Cuban Cigars in Switzerland. Interbach AG was founded in 1995 and is the official and exclusive direct importer of Habanos cigars and mini Cubanos, Zigarellos for Switzerland and the Principality of Liechtenstein.
Liechtenstein.
Yeah. By now, they distribute 26 Habanos brands, families with 300 different formats and packages, which are mainly offered in tobacco specialty shops.
So I looked it up. Swiss pronunciation would be Villiger.
Okay.
Now,
that's good to know.
I don't know if that's how it's pronounced, but what I can find, it's a soft Villiger.
Okay.
Now, I'm not sure. I'm going to try to look it up and see what some of the other cigar authorities hint, say. Call it.
Well, they're not good with grammar.
Grammar's not their strong suit.
They saw it.
Yeah, and it could have been, I was thinking it might have been like Villiger, because sometimes they do that, but Villiger. Either way, 1888 Villiger, fantastic smoke. Really, really good smoke.
Great smoke output. No pepper. If you're thinking this is going to be your typical Nicaraguan pepper bomb, that type of spice, typically, would you say is that
right? Yeah,
would typically be associated with like Nicaraguan tobacco. This is a 4 or 5 on the strength scale. It is not a pepper bomb. You're going to get some traces of it a little bit. I mean, just a little bit on the retro.
I wanted to say just a little bit on the nose. It's because you won't get it unless you retro.
Yes.
I just did it, and it's almost like, it's so little pepper, it's almost like if you smell something that's hot, it's like, oh, I can tell that's hot.
Yeah.
It's that little of pepper, and, but man, it's whole lot of flavor. It's surprisingly mild too, like you said. So.
Yeah, I think so. I think it's something that's also very approachable by any level of smoker, whether you're a newbie or a occasional or a active or a seasoned.
Yeah.
You like that? I just made all that
seasoned.
Shit up. Newbie, occasional, active,
seasoned. Whether we'll remember
Y'all
it.
write that shit down. Get back to me where I don't forget it.
Yeah, again. Email us. This is what y'all said.
Let's jump on up into the turn of the century. How about that? In 2002, after the turn of the millennium, Villiger gained international momentum. The founding of distribution companies in the USA, Villiger North America, followed by France in 2006 of Villiger France.
Villiger.
Viva la France. And they mark a clear, you see why we don't do impressions, marks a clear company goal to establish the brand worldwide. In 2013, Villiger goes to Brazil.
Ooh.
The construction of a plant in Brazil for the production of handmade cigars began in 2013 at the same time. The company had already celebrated its 125-year anniversary, which was celebrated with a new cigar called Villiger Celebration. The exact composition of this cigar remains a secret to this day.
This KFC Coke.
Yeah.
3-6. I was thinking, because they're so big, we mentioned how big they are in the industry for smaller cigars. Yeah. I wonder if that had anything to do with when her father died, a woman took over, because I traditionally see smaller cigarillo sizes. Females like those a lot.
Yeah.
I like them. We smoke them too.
Yeah.
But you know what I'm saying?
Could be.
I wonder if that's or maybe because in turn of the century, smaller size cigars were more the thing. Really, as Americanized,
I think that's probably got
a lot to do
as much to do with it as anything else. I mean,
and probably trying to compete with cigarettes a little bit too.
Yeah.
You know, with the smaller sizes.
Well,
cigarettes were so big.
Yes, and let's say this: all of those products made then, they didn't get into the hand rolled premiums, cigar game till.
I interrupted you. But
no.
But like 20 recently.
So all that, what I was getting at was all of those products would have been machine made.
Right. Yeah.
And I think probably, I don't know this. I'm just taking I'm taking a wild stab at using logic to come up with an answer for your question. But I would think, and somebody correct me if I'm wrong. If I'm way off, I want to know the right answer to this. But I would think, like you said, with keeping up with tobaccos and cigarettes, the sizing and all of that stuff would be very more marketable that way versus
an hour
or
something.
Like it's the same size, but it looks different because it is different.
Because it is different. It's toasted.
Yeah. It's not laced with cyanide.
That toasted shit was a real campaign that they did. That Madman, that was a real thing. Yeah,
absolutely. So I would think that. I would think with the mostly with Europe being probably a much more free thinking country as a whole than we were at the time. I would say. With having a woman in charge and that kind of size would appeal.
Yeah.
Not only to the male demographic, but the female demographic as well. And let's face it.
Not everybody has an hour to smoke.
Not everybody has an hour to smoke, but everybody smoked.
Yeah.
I mean, you had ashtrays in the back seats of cars, for God's sakes.
How many people will you say smoke cigarettes in the United States right now?
Oh, God, I have no idea. I haven't.
I looked it up.
Oh, okay.
I wanted to know the other day when I was talking about it because I wanted to see how the demographics were for cigarettes.
How many would that be?
30 million.
Wow.
Still 10% of the United States smokes cigarettes. So, and I was just thinking when we were talking about that really you don't really find people that smoke premium cigars that are necessarily cigarette friendly.
Right.
We are. You used to smoke cigarettes. I've been around it my whole life.
Yeah.
But, now that they've got this whole negative connotation because they're, lacing them with chemicals and stuff, but wonder what it was like. Don't want to interrupt what we're talking about, but I'd like to know what it was like at the turn of 1900, what the product was like then. Was the cigarette a closer akin to something like this?
Oh, I'm sure.
Than it was then. So, in fact, maybe Villiger was in the cigarette business, is what I'm saying.
Yes.
Was that possible?
That could be, yes.
Yeah. I'd like to research that. I don't think anybody's ever done a history of tobacco in America, because, that's cigarette smoke. Well, you know what? That was an important part of our history. Is a very much an important part of my life. I don't smoke cigarettes and inhale them, but, I smoke tobacco. That's tobacco.
Yeah.
Ish, So.
There's a guy, and we will get back to the whole history on Villiger here in just a moment. But there's a guy on Instagram, and I can't think of his name. If I can think of it between now and the time we actually post this, we'll put him down in the deal as a tag or whatever the right thing I'm supposed to say there is. We'll do it. But he still to this day collects vintage cigarettes.
Still in the pack.
They used to not come in a pack.
A tin.
They came in a can or a tin that was pressurized. It's for
freshness.
It's fucking neat. Yeah. I mean, I don't know all the ins and outs of it.
Like a Vienna sausage.
Yes. So to this day, and the only reason I know about this, our good buddy Jeff Schaefnacher with Three Bears Coffee here in Knoxville. Check them out if you don't know.
Great coffee, by the way.
Jeff gave me a tin of tobacco, of pipe tobacco.
Mm-hmm.
I showed you. We haven't smoked any of it.
Smells
You
good.
haven't smoked any of it.
Yeah, it smells great.
But he was saying, and I was like, so this is still good? And he's like, yeah, it's never been opened. It's sealed.
Right.
And so this guy on his channel, and again, we'll try to find it, but you can hear it. The thing opens, and the very middle cigarette has got I don't want to say cloth, but like a paper, some kind of hanger deal that grips it, and you pull it out like that. And he sits there and lights it up. And it's, from, whatever,
the 20s,
1918, 19, whatever.
Does he comment on it? Like, oh, this tastes different, or?
He basically, he doesn't in particular that much. He evidently there's like tobacco shows.
Oh,
and
sure.
That he goes to vintage or antique. I don't,
See, that interests me. That's an interesting thing. That's great.
But and he's always willing. He's like, I'm not going to go on or talk about it or blah blah blah. He's just like, you come out to the deal. You see me, I'll have some. You can try one.
Wow.
We'll have one together. That kind of thing.
So we need to go to a tobacco show.
I guess so. We need. I need to try to find his.
I'm not going to have any reference for a cigarette, but I'm going to try one anyway.
Yeah. So, getting back to Villiger, 2018, the Villiger cigar tradition celebrates its 130th anniversary. 5 years later, Heinrich Villiger remains the stable head of Villiger Sohn Holding and looks back at 130 years of a successful company history and family tradition. In 2020, he celebrated his 90th birthday.
Wow.
And in 2021, Villiger goes to Nicaragua. So bringing us back, circling back, connecting the dots.
The 1888.
Yeah. Villiger opens its own production facility in Nicaragua. In little more than 12 months, the most modern, approximately 3,000 square meter cigar factory in Nicaragua was built near the Panamericana Highway, carrying the name Villiger de Nicaragua. The factory employs around 150 trained specialists who produce about 15 brands in a wide variety of formats.
3,000 square meters?
Yeah. What is that to square foot, I wonder?
Well, let's just put it in yards. Just a meter is more than a yard, but let's just say 3,000 yards that way and 3,000 yards that way.
Yeah. Be 30.
No, that's not right. That's not right. You said 3,000 square meters, not 3 million, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it'd be like 300 meters times 10 meters.
Yeah, so it's 32,291 square feet.
Yeah, that's a lot.
Yeah, so it'd be twice the size of Bubba's, because we've got, it'd be more than twice the size, because I think ours is 15,000.
Oh. Yeah.
12 to 15,000 square feet. Yeah. So what would that would probably put you in the mind of like before, I I don't even want to say their name. I'm not going to, but like, before your grocery stores started getting supersized.
Right.
With, a bank, a fucking taco truck, the whole area of eyes, health, prostate exams, whatever the fuck. Sunglass center, photo booth, adoption agency, it's a store, right? But so it'd be something like that. So probably maybe something you remember as like we would remember as our our brick and mortar grocery stores back in the day.
The A&P.
Yeah. Hancock's IGA.
Oh, not any IGA. Hancock's. There's a difference.
Mm-hmm. But that's a little history on what we're smoking, a little history about the company. I'm telling you guys, this is a great cigar. And for the money, you can't beat it. It's a great cigar to smoke. It's a great cigar to buy for the value. It's also a great cigar to share. Like if you got a buddy and you're afraid you don't know that you could give him or not give him, because you certainly don't want to give them something that's going to give them, a bad thought or a horrible first experience
or a bad taste in their
mouth. Waka waka. This is a cigar you can do. It's completely shareable.
Yes.
How's that for a new one?
That's great.
Shareable.
It's shareable. And it's also something that if you've got a cigar smoker that you want to get something for.
Yeah. This is straight down the middle of the road.
Anybody that smokes cigars, safe bet for sure. Anybody would like this.
Dad, Father's Day, uncle.
If you want to buy
brothers,
us a box.
Yeah.
Hey, we're reachable.
Yeah. No,
we're close.
Mm-hmm. Great cigar.
But fantastic cigar. It's not even, I'm so glad that you got, how did we get into those? The first ones? Did you get some in a sample?
Them.
Okay.
Were you not listening?
Yeah. I now remember. Yeah. I got it.
No, I just seen them in, on an online site, and I thought, man, those are great. They looked great. They looked expensive.
The boxes.
They just had the look. And I thought, that can't be right. And then
I still think that
I was
as
like,
I'm
well, maybe that's for 10. Maybe that's for 10. You know how you do that sometimes.
Yeah. Oh, these are Oliva Milanios.
Yeah.
Oh, there's 10. I see.
But yeah, they were just such a good price. I was like, screw it. I've had some pretty good luck on,
boy, that was a damn
pick.
Thank goodness for that one.
Absolutely.
Because, Lordy. I mean, we probably got around to it eventually, but I'm glad we got a head start on everybody because they're just great, man. And they've got others. We just haven't really delved into that yet, but
we haven't figured out how to actually, Yeah,
it's a kind of these like stand out in their list of products on the wholesale sites. And then the other ones are like hanging over there in the corner in the shadow. And you kind of don't know what you're ordering.
Yeah.
It's like, what? Anyway, the lurkers of the site.
Its production capacity of more than 1 billion cigars per year and over 1,600 employees makes the Villiger Group a leading player in the cigar industry today.
Reckon. Billion?
Billion.
Billion.
Yes.
And billion sold.
And McDonald's
and Villiger.
I have an interesting thing to say about that. So we'll play a little game.
I love games.
Bring the games. How many days would you say, y'all can play along at home as well, 1,000,000 seconds would equate into how many days?
God, 1,000,000.
I mean, And obviously this ain't, we don't have to be, but there's a reason I'm going to say that. And the reason that Jamie was saying billion with a B. But I heard this the other day.
1,000,000 seconds.
I read this the other day and I was like, that's fucking interesting.
It seems like a hell of a long time to me.
Okay. So 1,000,000 seconds are equal to 11 days.
Really?
Yes. Do you know?
Yeah.
Do you know, or would like to take a guess of how 1,000,000,000 seconds is equal to?
Well, yeah, I know. It's 1,000,000,000 seconds is 11,000 days.
Which would be 31 years.
I guess. Yeah,
That's
right at you.
Huh?
Boy, adding those 3 zeros puts you in a different tax
that
bracket.
just gives you a real interesting analogy to be able to decipher the difference between 1,000,000 of something and 1,000,000,000 of something. And in today's climate of all the talks and all the news and everything else about millionaires and billionaires, big fucking difference between a billion and a million.
Big time.
Big difference.
3 zeros difference.
Yes. But I don't even think that don't make the brain compute it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I mean, we can have as many zeros down there, and as long as we know how to count it back, we can come up with the number, right?
Right, sure.
But
yeah, to get your mind to wrap around that,
correct.
It's because it gets to be so large. You're like, that's why I like that Neil deGrasse Tyson show, because they're always talking about things that you can't really comprehend.
Right.
And he's able to sometimes like shrink it down. Like it'd be good. Like your example is a really good one though, because that is 11 days versus 30 years. That's
everybody's familiar with
those.
time.
Yeah. Time. It's a good,
a day versus a month, or day versus a week versus a month versus a year.
Yeah, so they sell enough tobacco products to make $1 a second over the next 33 years in 1 year.
Yes. Yeah, it's pretty.
That's a lot.
I read that the other day in some of the stuff that I get, and I was just like, holy cow. I mean, I knew there was a huge difference, but it didn't really compute of how much of a difference that it actually is.
And it even gets crazier, mind-blowing when you go from 1 billion to 1 trillion.
Yeah.
It's like then you're into,
Yes.
Yeah.
Villiger handmade cigars are produced in their own factories in Brazil, which is a subsidiary in Nicaragua and a subcontractor in the Dominican Republic. Villiger Schoen AG in Switzerland and Villiger Schoen GmbH in Germany produce only machine-made cigars and manage worldwide exports. Villiger's top-selling markets continue to be its domestic markets in Switzerland, Germany, followed by Spain and the USA.
Never seen any of their stuff on the shelves around, like the smaller ones in convenience stores or wherever.
Well, I don't think you would.
Well, I mean, it said U.S. there. I just wondered.
Well, this being U.S., New Worlds.
I got you.
Because all of the other stuff, I'm sure, are still, I mean, they're using Cuban tobacco over there, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, or do you, I guess at some point they figured trying to export what would be legal for export from there doesn't add up to what they can make because they can sell it anywhere on that half of the globe.
Right.
Just to incorporate North America for another 1%.
Sure.
Or something of that nature, probably. You can also find Villiger cigars in dozens of duty-free shops. Whatever. If you happen to be in Switzerland, they would like to invite you to their flagship store, Villiger, the World of Cigars, in the Swiss capital of Bern, where every cigar lover is sure to find something that's right for them. Villiger cigars.
So the next time you're over that way.
Yeah.
Stop by.
Yeah, stop by. But very, it's interesting. We found that out. We found that out as well with Montosa, which we featured on a couple of episodes ago. That's a huge. They are actually that's owned by a European company as well. That's huge, like Villiger is overseas. So, so we have some. So the Queller brand or the blends is the Queller Cream, which Jamie will put a picture right here, and the Queller Black Forest, and the Queller Caribe. We have some Black Forests, and if you see us out at our anywhere we're at, if we have them on us, we'll let you try one of those, as well as maybe an 1888, or sell you one of those sticks and or a Queller Cream. But we have yet to get to try that third, the Caribe. The 1888 is also made in a Dominican version, which I've yet to be able to try. I've never found them.
Yeah, I've seen them.
So I don't know if we have to, we may have to go straight to Villiger with
it's possible.
with the business. Yeah. But they make Villiger 1888 in Nicaraguan. What we're smoking here, they make the Villiger 1888 Dominican, and it looks like they're coming out with and or have already came out with a Villiger 1888 Gran Reserva Toro, which is a 6x54 Toro size. Still the strength level, still in a 4 to 5, which, I appreciate more and more these days.
I do too, but I bet you they're working on a strong one. And I bet there's one coming, a sun grown or a Nicaraguan Puro that's whatever. Something like that. Everybody's got one pretty much. So, and it looks to me like they're trying to make a valiant effort in this market, because these first ones don't feel like somebody said, "Oh, let's just make some and try it out."
Yeah.
This feels like that somebody knew what they were doing and really worked on the blends and the packaging and just everything about this is just, really, man, this is one of those cigars that
they ain't no rookie.
No, they're not. Right. Yeah. It's not their first day doing it, but I just feel like it's just such a home run effort. Just without going into our review system, look, 94, 93, 94 right here. Maybe high 92s as far as experience of this smoke.
Yeah.
It's been really, really
Yeah, I'll go a 92 with you for sure. 92, 93.
And you know what's crazy? As far as reviewing goes, that's why you should smoke more than one.
Just real quick, but even if we said 89 or 90,
I mean,
that's not a bad score.
No, it's not. I got a lot of smokes.
That's a B plus
that get rated 89 or 90.
That's a B plus.
Oh yeah.
Right.
Yeah. That get rated 89 or 90 that I smoke all the time that I would rate higher too. Yeah. So it's a palate thing, but I tell you, man, just overall experience of this one, this individual one, 94.
Caramel sweetness.
Right down the center of your mouth too. It's just, it's very like, it coats you a little bit.
Caramel sweetness, some hay. You'll get some nuts in there from time to time. You know, some of the darker, not super dark, maybe more like there's like a little bit of tartness to it as well. So it may be more like kind of like a cherry.
Yeah.
Yeah. With the fruit.
The cherry
flavor notes.
Like cherry pop tobacco. Like cherry pop tobacco. That's got that sweet.
Oh God, don't put that on it.
But you know what I'm saying? But it's got that.
Say what you want.
Earthy, sweet.
Yeah. I'm always afraid of like cherry pipe tobacco because it just reminds me of like fucking Robitussin.
Oh yeah, I can't. Well, that being said,
that's for me to get past. So I
agree with that.
Describe it however you want.
In a lot of ways, like with. People are like, hey, here's a cherry candy. I'm like, no, dude, that's a cough drop. You know, and I get that. Yeah. But with the cherry pipe tobacco, because I was around an older pipe smoker as a kid, and it's a traditional blend, you know, a lot of people do it. But yeah, this smoke is just, you know, the other day I texted you and said that I had just smoked the best single cigar I'd ever had. Remember?
Yep.
And that cigar, although one of my favorite, your favorites, anybody that's ever smoked it's favorites, it's not. If you said, Jamie, what's the best cigar you ever smoked, or you can count on to be the one, it wouldn't be that one. Yep. There's a couple ahead of it, but that one that I smoked, I don't know if it was just I'll say this.
Well, that's interesting.
But because it was just the best cigar I ever had. And it was that Oliva V Milano, and which is highly rated.
Yeah.
But it stood out amongst its peers.
Yeah.
Yeah. You know, I've had a bunch of those, and it was the cold draw, even the first draw, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
It was like, man, you just got blasted with flavor. And I was like, hey, this is the best cigar I've ever had.
Well, that's interesting. Taste. That's interesting because I have a similar experience, but it was with beer.
Mm.
I used to play on this modified softball men's team that was a travel team.
Slow pitch.
No, they could come back this far, but they brought it.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, that'd be fun.
So like 55, 65 mile an hour, somewhere around in there.
That'd be fun.
And 3 outfielders, baseball rules, steals were legal. I played catcher. So I was in full gear,
right?
Cage, the whole deal, shin guards, chest protector, blah, blah, blah. But we were playing at this place, it was like a round robin, so it was like double elimination, long ass day, tournament.
Hell, I bet.
No, it was in the armpit of the fucking world. It was in
Alabama.
And my apologies to anybody, but not really so much. Oneonta, Alabama. We had just got done with the game. I had hopped over to get one out of the dirt to keep it from passing. Wild pitch, and when I did, I broke these 2 fingers. The ball hit it right on the end and broke. I mean, you can see that one still twist.
Yeah.
So,
old softball injury.
Old softball injury. That's right. Takes a real man to get hurt in softball. I mean, the ball's soft.
I've done it.
No.
Hamstring. So,
but I was hurting pretty good, and we still had a whole day left to be down there, and it was 200 fucking degrees. I went to the grocery store or drove down to one of the convenience stores, asked them if they had rolling papers. No, what was it I asked them for? I think I asked them. Oh, I was buying ibuprofen. I was buying like Tylenol.
Like 2 oxys.
No. I was buying like I know where this goes. I know where the rolling papers come into this story. But no, I was buying like just some Tylenol, ibuprofen, some kind of fucking
goodies. Something.
Yeah, I just snorted a line of goodies. For God's sakes. My damn fingers are broke. And this old lady who's working behind the deal that, got her hair done at Margie's every Friday. Mean old hook-nosed bitch looking woman.
Yellow hair.
Oh, yellow. She goes, I said, do you guys have any, where do you keep your pain relief? Like Tylenol, ibuprofen, anything. She goes, it's right back there. And I walk back there to pick it up, and she goes, we don't serve no alcohol, porno, or rolling papers. And I was just like, I just want a fucking Tylenol.
Well,
yeah.
Were you giving her the Porto vibe?
I don't know.
I'm coming there in a paper vibe. One of those things.
I'm in there in a softball uniform. I
know he wants an old Porto.
I got pants and leggings and fucking.
What am I going to do with it, lady? My head's broke.
Yeah, cleats. Dirty, sweaty.
Mm-mm. Alcohol's probably the one.
Come in there with my fingers taped up. I'd had some
alcohol. That's the softball alcohol equals alcohol.
Porno or rolling papers.
You tell me somebody play softball, I'll show you somebody can drink your ass out of the table. So burn a church lead, don't matter.
I get back to the field, to the complex, if you will. Where we just played the week before, down in Cleveland, and they had this amazing, sports complex with 5 fields and, real nice, pro style dugouts. And, nice as it was back in that day. I mean, it's been many years ago. But I get back there and I see these 2 old boys, Hugh and Clem, or whatever, Norbert, or whatever the fuck.
This is Hugh Clem.
Yeah. What was the guys that anyway, I digress. I should have Yarnell, Darnell, and Clyde Eugene, not Eugene, Eugene. Anyway, 2 Alabama guys over there, and they were standing at the back of a pickup truck. I seen them open their toolbox up on their pickup truck, and they pulled out damn long neck Red Rocket Budweiser. I'm not a big Bud guy. I mean, I usually drink, when I can find it, I'll drink the Schlitz or, High Lifes. You've seen us drink High. I mean, I like beer. What do you want me to tell you? But Budweiser's not my normal. I'm much more of a Miller or a Coors man,
Right.
But buddy, I walked over there and I said, guys, how's it going, fellas? Yeah, man, we're doing all right. What'd you do to your fingers? And I was like, man, I think I've really screwed them up. I'm trying to dig one out of the dirt back there behind the plate and broke a couple of them. I said, could I get one of those beers? I was like, I'll buy it from you. Oh, hell, man, you ain't got to buy no beer. We'll give you a beer.
I knew you needed one.
And I'm telling you right now, to this very day, so that's why I'm getting back. I'm coming back around. I know I ramble and I talk slow and all that. But to this day, that was the single best beer I'd ever drank in my entire life.
Yeah. And sounds silly, but it's
in
not.
my entire life.
Yep. I believe it. I believe it.
You know, so that
nothing special about it.
No,
that one.
Red Rocket Long Neck Budweiser.
Jack Palance said it. One thing.
Oh, okay. Okay, shorty.
That one thing.
Oh, shit. All right. So that's a little history about Villiger cigars and the Villiger 1888. Great smoke. If you don't know where to get them, you can find them. I know where you can get them. I know where you can find them. You can find them at Good Guys Cigars. Well, you know the rest of the story. Go there, talk to us, make you an order. We'll hook you up. June 30th.
June 30. Yep. Trailhead Beer Market. Be there.
Why?
Because we said so.
Do it.
Because it's fun.
Do it.
Yeah, we had good times, man. Maybe
July 30th is our next cigar event.
June 30th.
June 30th, excuse me.
Yeah.
Thank you. Damn, somebody let a damn duck in here. June 30th is our next Good Guys Cigar event. Come out. We'll have a cigar the event for that cigar for the event that night. We'll have lots of other things. We'll have a raffle. We'll have some prizes to give away.
We'll have an instructional thing.
We'll have an instructional thing about cigars and answer any kind of questions that you might have. And also we'll be bringing a little bit of stock. So if you want to pick yourself up a 5-pack or 10-pack of something, including maybe what we are smoking for that night, come out. And guess what? This might be one of them.
Man.
This one or the Montosas.
Or both.
So stay tuned. Go to the website, sign up on the email list. You'll get all of our content. You'll get all of the information about when the next events are, all that stuff. Be sure to like, subscribe, follow, hit the notifications bell. If you do that, YouTube will send you what video you think that you'll like next, most of us, and won't cost you a dime. Every time, folks, be kind to one another.
Smoke lots of cigars.
Yes. It doesn't cost a dime to be kind, but there's a price to be paid for cruelty. So don't be an asshole. Be nice.
That's right.
Be kind to everybody.
And buy more cigars.
Buy more cigars because
life is too short to smoke bad cigars.
One more for the good guys. See you.
I'll be gone in the morning before the sun comes up, with me and my weenie dog and my pickup truck. And either way, baby, a good man, it's hard to find. I said, now either way, baby, a good man, it's hard to find.